So, Amanda, hi. Thank you so much for
Hi.
meeting with me.
Hi. I'm happy to be
So,
here.
so when did Rihanna and Cameron attend Global Village School? What year or years?
Let's see, 2000, I know, I know that I'm gonna maybe get 1 year off. 2009, 10, and 11, I think it was, or yeah, around that time.
In which grade
2009,
level?
10, and 11. Yeah. They
Yeah.
were high schoolers. So what happened was we had come to the States. We had been living in Abu Dhabi in the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, and we had decided, okay, we're going to bring the children and back to the States and let them become accustomed to the area, and then they'll be ready for college. Just the typical thinking that we had at that time. And when we came to Alabama, and there was a big culture shock, and many things happened that made us have a need for something more. So that is how we ended up finding Global Village. It was through my daughter.
So, okay, so then how do you think Global Village School contributed to their education?
Well, it made such a huge difference at a difficult time. We were in transition. We had come up against challenges that we just weren't prepared for. Um, the situation that my children had come from in the Emirates was a very small sort of fostering situation it was a private school, because here everyone has to attend a private school unless you are a local, and that it's less than a 10% local population. So everyone here is from outside, and because of that we have private schools, and those schools were usually relatively small at that time, and they came from that situation into this public school situation in Alabama, and not as diverse, in terms of like what they were used to, and being faced with what they felt was apathy in the school system, and facing some racism and other things that were a challenge. So my daughter approached me with the idea. She had investigated and went searching and found Global Village School. And when she first submitted the proposal that this is a school I want to attend, I was in shock, because we're a family of educators. We are teachers in our family, and I was in shock. But as I read more about the curriculum and the what the school, believes, how it believes in learning, how it approaches learning, I agreed with her that if this is the way you want to learn and want to move forward, we will do that. So that's what we did. It was not what we planned, but it ended up being very good for the both of my kids, because it met their individual needs, and it opened them up to some things that they had not been exposed to before, and they were very enriched by it. It made a difference in our personal relationship as well, because I was spending more time with them.
So, what do you remember about both parenting and teaching your kids during their time with Global Village?
Well, I remember initially, because you have these traditional ideas. Not everyone who attends the school just approaches from the very beginning with, this full range of understanding. I approached it, it was more of a necessity at that point. We had challenges, and we needed assistance, and we needed transcripts, and we were, concerned about so many things. So what I learned was that you don't have to think traditionally, and it in fact can be a huge impediment to learning. And so my daughter is a very individual. She has a lot of individual initiatives. She's very organized. Unlike That's not, my style actually isn't very organized. So she wanted to do things that were more, that she took more responsibility, and she worked with teachers at Global Village, and she took the standard and some advanced courses with them, and then my son, he needed a more personalized, customized curriculum, and I worked with him quite a bit. Both of those needs were met. The teachers, we, could consult with them. We had meetings with them fairly regularly, and they also gave us a lot of leeway. If we, for instance, my children were and we're Baha'is, that's our faith, and all of the Baha'i youth should do some volunteering. We must try to make our area where we live better. We want to work with others and see where needs are, and then try to meet them. So one of their needs, they had identified in their area. Okay, how could they help make the neighborhood better? And it involved working with children, and we were doing junior youth empowerment, and that became with the proper documentation, that became part of their curriculum for volunteering, because also Global Village School encourages volunteer work. So that became, they were always working with us, always helping us along the way as we wanted to customize things. And that, it was the trademark, I think, that I didn't get that in schools.
Yeah.
So that worked out very well for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true what you just delineated. It's so true about how Global Village works with families so that the children are the center of education. We're not trying to, sort of mush children into some educational model. It's education meets the children where they are, wherever that is.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's how it went. And it was so imperative. It was a very critical time for my son in particular. He just had not had his needs met in public education, or even, in fact, in the private education that he had. It wasn't being met. The needs weren't being met. They weren't actually being recognized, and that that really helped me to see and understand uh, that we tailor it around the learner. It's not the other way around. It's not a box you have to fit in. So that worked. That has worked very well for him, even into adulthood.
It's so great. So in a way, this next question might be sort of repetitive, and so maybe you want to dismiss it, but so what do you most appreciate about your children being homeschooled, Global Village?
Well, I love that it's made them independent. They know who they are. They stand up for themselves more. They stand up for when they see something unjust.
Mm,
Their values, their own personal values, were enriched by being at Global Village School, and the exposure that they have to others who have things about them that are something they may not have ever heard of or know about, or if they learn about different cultures. Although they did have a lot of exposure to cultures in the Emirates, it's just, the world is a very big place, and there are many different kinds of people in it, and they have come to know so much about the world through Global Village.
mm,
Yes, as an adult, I can see that they wouldn't be the adults they are if they didn't. And it was 2.5, 3 years, and it made such a huge impact on them because it was at a critical point. I wish we had known about it when they were in elementary, because perhaps we could have done that in this part of the world.
yeah, that's beautiful. Um, do you have a favorite memory that you'd like to share about
Oh,
raising cameras?
there's so many. When you're working with teenagers, actually, because I feel like I got a free education with Global Village, because as I was working with, especially my daughter was doing a lot of the stuff on her own. At the end, she did ask for some, collaboration, and I was with her that last 6 weeks, I think. But my son, all of the courses that he took, all of the curriculum, I still remember all of it. I learned from so much from it. And sometimes when we would be collaborating, we became very close. We're very similar. And he would kind of be, it was just, he was so funny, or he would be saying funny things. So I would just press audio record, and I told him, I've got to get this for my memories. And so I one day found all those audios on my phone, and I listened to them. And it was just so funny to hear that exuberant, the hippocampus is doing its thing at that age. And he's so exuberant. And, we were brainstorming. We were, in a way, it was more like, I felt like I'm a high school student with him. We're brainstorming. Okay, what about this? What about that? And I think he uses that now in his business, this ability to communicate and brainstorm. I think a lot of that, we got that last year, because there was a lot of collaboration where he was bouncing ideas off, and sometimes he would go off the wall. One project, he had read a book about, it was about some youth who had started a fire. And anyway, I don't remember the full story now, but he made a poster and he said, I'm doing dramatic art. And he went outside and he just lit the poster. I just saw him light the poster. And I was like, no, 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 you can't just light up. He said, Mom, it's representing the book. I'm demonstrating, So he made this big poster about the book, and then he went and lit it outside all back. That was really funny.
I love it. Relevant learning. There it is.
Yeah. He's like, performance art, performance art. Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to add?
I will say, as you know, I met so many different people through Global Village, and I'm friends with many of them still, and keep in contact with them. And the teachers, especially, there's a couple of teachers there who really, they just have my absolute respect and admiration. And this is something that it is. I'm so lucky that my daughter took the initiative, because we have been enriched by Global Village, and we are not. I wouldn't say, you can't say there's a standard person who looks for this. There are many different kinds of people in this program, and this program meets the needs of the people who enroll in it. It's that simple. Like, if you have certain things that you need for your child, and they met our needs very well. And I would do it again 1,000 times. I always tell everyone about Global Village.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so
I hope it stays another good 25 years at least. You told me it's a 25-year anniversary. Let's let it go on and on and on, because I know it makes the world a better place, and I see the kind of people it produces.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.